Science fiction has many ways of faster light travel, whether it's flying through hell, subspace, or just flat out Einstein being wrong. The concept of faster light travel comes with some very important side effects. Even softer sci-fi settings, so long as we stay on this side of fantasy, these things are important, but are rarely discussed. There are two primary ways of weaponizing fast light travel. The first and more subtle way uses the fact that light travels at light speed, but your ship can travel faster. The second involves the physics about really fast projectiles that are really unavoidable when talking about fast light travel. First, Star Trek has the idea of the Picard maneuver. The idea is that starting out several light seconds away, you warp close to the enemy so they see you in your new position as well as the old one at the same time. Use the momentary confusion to attack. It's really interesting when you first see it, and in the show it's portrayed as a stroke of genius. But the fridge logic comes in quickly. If ships can move faster than sensors can see, seeing double should be routine. Ships are used to fighting at minimum quarter light speed, and I cannot see warp positioning being rare. Unless it's risky for reasons that we don't see, why would you not use warp drive to surround enemies? Space warfare should be similar to the old physics book that showed what would happen if the speed of light was 30 miles an hour. That brings up the question, does a battle line even make sense when talking about StarCraft? While we often have starships use either airplane or naval tactics, why would they? An infantry battle line today doesn't even resemble a Greek phalanx or a Napoleonic line. Advances in weaponry change battle forever. We saw much of the same advancement with aircraft carriers on naval warfare, with battle lines being replaced by isolated battle groups, sending out bombers and missiles. Why would warp not have the same effect on space warfare? On the other hand, the second way is quite simple. E equals 1/2 mv squared, and C is really, really big. So a light speed bullet hits with the power of a nuclear bomb. To compare to traditional explosives, please note that you only need to go to Mach 8 for a bullet to have energy equal to its weight in dynamite. Warp 1 is 10 to the 5th times faster. So a 1 gram bullet would hit with a weight of 10 kilotons of dynamite. This equation causes a lot of problems for space travel, as when going at warp speeds, a stray pebble isn't going to crack your windshield. It will hit you like a nuke. Having some form of shielding is an absolute necessity. Of course, this means that anyone who can go at light speed can shrug off multiple nukes per second. So in real life, if any aliens can get to Earth, there is nothing we could possibly do to damage them. Obviously, light speed missiles or bullets should be used in combat. Hurl a big rock at someone and do a whole lot of damage. Or you could perform the Holdo maneuver and suicide your own ship. An 80 megaton battle cruiser would release 10 to the 27th joules. While that's not Death Star levels of power, or 10 to 32nd joules, a single attack would devastate a planet. And that's coming from the engines of a large but otherwise standard ship going only at light speed, which any freighter does routinely. The sheer damage that such an attack would cause is insane. In addition, all of these numbers assume a kinetic energy of warp 1, not the speeds you would actually use in sci-fi. The question isn't, would this be effective? The question is, why would you do anything else? Of course, there's a problem from a storytelling perspective. One-shot insta-kills are boring. And as I said, anything strong enough to operate in space should be taking those sorts of hits from space junk all the time just to normal flight. So it could be that everything is actually hitting in the megaton range, but we can't see it due to power inflation. Star Wars is tacitly taking that sort of position, as you see how much punishment the Falcon took in Episode 7 from running into rocks and through trees without leaving a noticeable scratch. In conclusion, warp speed is terrifying. The sheer levels of energy involved are insane. And it's surprising how few science fiction universes explore what these things could mean. Thanks for listening, y'all.